They've got a third down, St. Hubert. It's the Rebels versus the Myers Riders at Bantam. And a huge catch. So the Rebels waste no time and they complete on a huge pass to start this game on over top of Myers' defense. These teams did face each other earlier on in the season, and Myers did win that competition. But it's been several weeks and a championship won by the Rebels. So all bets off to see who will win this one. Now, ball came out late, but it's going to remain the Rebels' ball here. So if you're joining the broadcast here, it's the third game on the slate this afternoon. And thanks to HESN, we have the game live for you. Oh, and a nice tipped pass and touchdown. The Rebels marched down the field and I think shocked the Myers Riders here early by scoring with only 9 minutes. So off to a good start. They are here to play today.
I hear absolutely nothing right now. Like, yeah.
So the Rebels doing it through the air early on over the Myers Riders defense. That's something that early on is going to give the Riders
like, I mean, I don't know if they need
offense
to fix it,
a little bit of a worry.
I'm not hearing anything. It's literally just beeping.
If they're not able to stop that early on, then they're going to keep going to it. And it looks like they have like a pretty talented wideout there that came down with that ball. And they convert, so the Rebels on the board early, 7-0. So the third game, we're just getting the live stream up and running again. It's pretty difficult on us when the game starts 10 minutes after the last one, but that's all right. We'll work through it. Got a lot of games to get through here at TD Place, home of the Red Blacks. We've got the Bantam Inter-Provincial Bowl Championship between the St. Hubert Rebels and the Myers Riders. So far, a little recap. Canada Knights beating the LaSalle Warriors at the Mosquito level. And the St. Laurent Spartans defeating the Myers Riders at the Pee Wee level. That game just concluded. And now we've got Bantam. Myers Riders in it at this level as well. And we got the Rebels up 7-0 early. So they kick off deep. And that's going to be recovered cleanly by the Myers Riders kickoff return specialist, number 15. And that's Nicholas Caracuzzi on the return. So at least the Myers Riders offense is going to start from around the 17. Let's see what they do to start this game off. So if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead, share the link, tweet it out. If you're watching on Facebook, share it on your newsfeed. Get more exposure for the sport of football in Ottawa and these fine players giving it all in the last game of their seasons. Hand off to 35, who's been a huge, one of the best running backs in the league all season, and he's got a little bit something here. He is finally dragged down at the 50, but the first huge gain for the Myers Riders offense.
That's Charles Aslan, Jesse.
Charles Aslan, I tell you, I can't say enough. I've watched this kid play and all season, and he's got some great lateral footwork. He's got a low center of gravity. This player reminds me a lot of Carolina's McCaffrey. He's a speedy player, but he's not going to juke you out of your shoes, but I tell you, he will move laterally nicely through small holes and spaces. Shibley out of the shotgun. It's going to counter up the middle. It's going to give it off to the running back, who doesn't get much, maybe 1 yard. Bear with us as we get the next broadcast up and running. So 2nd and about 8. Tyler Shibley taking the snaps for the Myers Riders.
Charles Aslan again on the carry, Jesse.
Now, can you get a number? Number 14 is playing quarterback. I don't see a 14 on our roster. I'm pretty sure it's Tyler Shibley. He's probably changed jerseys for some reason. It's just to confuse us, I guess. Anyways, it looks like Tyler, so I'm going to call him Tyler. 3rd and 6. Shibley in the shotgun. He's looking to pass. He's going corner route on the far side, completed to number 81.
Sorry, Jesse, I was looking for an 81 there.
We're still working through some technical issues here to get this game going, so we're going to be on and off on the commentary until we get things settled. Bear with us, but that was a completion, a huge completion for Myers, and then he fumbled it on his way down, and the Rebels have the ball back. It's a fake jet sweep. Quarterback's going to run it himself. He's got some... Oh, and he fumbles. The ball's out. Myers jumps on it. Number 42 of Myers Riders with the recovery. That's John Cioretti.
And a drop from Matthew Barcelou after he broke a long run.
So this game, Steve, starting out the way the last one did with turnover after turnover. But the Rebels, I think, maybe are surprising the Myers Riders a little bit because they were defeated early in the season. Maybe there's a chance Myers Riders coming out of that A-Cup championship maybe a little confident.
We need to find the ball carrier here. Going downfield, way downfield. Oh! No flag, no flag.
It's good coverage on that play.
Wow. He went downfield. That was good coverage for sure. Uh-oh, dropped the ball, but he picks it up. Manages to gather a couple of yards, well, maybe 3 or 4. Wow, good recovery by the quarterback. Matthew Barcelou manages to pick up a mishandled snap. Regain the ball to get us first down and 10 on the 49. Sorry, that's Joshua Loello. Out to his back. He picks up 5 or 6. That's number 7, Malik Payne on the reception. He picks up 6 yards. It makes it second down and 4 with 3:20 left in the first quarter. Myers comes up to the ball. Joshua Loello, waiting snap. Right away he goes out to A.J. Augustin, who managed to pick up a couple more yards. That'll make it third down and 2 on the 41 with 2:45 left in the first quarter.
So big third down for the Riders here early in the game.
2 yards.
Handoff to number 35, who's got the first down easily. Showing some of his explosive running there. That's Charles Aslan again. Fine print. You have your glasses on, Steve.
Yeah, I need my glasses. I mean,
I think we need a magnifying glass.
I apologize to the home viewers if I'm a little slow on some of the calls. I'm getting to know the players and the numbers. But I do know that Joshua Loello is QB for Myers, and he's fading back.
He passes it deep. Oh, and he actually completes
got a receiver. 84.
That's a sure catch by
Jerome Leclerc.
And a nice concentration. He knew he was going to take that hit, and he got his feet down, got control of the ball, and that's going to move the sticks. So now for the first time in the game, the Riders in position to score here. First and goal. They've got 4 shots of it. Playing 4-down football here today.
They're going to need to punch this one through to try to stay in pace with the Rebels.
And out of the shotgun, Shibley stands tall. He tosses it to Aslan. Aslan dodges the first defender, but then is wrapped up.
I know Jesse and I are a little confused here that 14 is actually...
There is no 14 for Myers, so I think
why.
Tyler Shibley's the quarterback for sure.
Sorry.
He wore number 11 all year, and he's wearing 14 today. So maybe the jersey got ripped in the championship game. Who knows? But here we go. It's Tyler Shibley for sure. And what they're going to do here on second down, we'll see. It's a quick pass to 84, who's wrapped up by the knees, and maybe a late shove there, no flag. They'll return to their respective huddles. But the Rebels up 7-0 here with Myers threatening. It's going to be a third down, though. Third from the 6-yard line.
I'm sorry, I don't have an 84 on my scorecard.
Yeah, it's a little tough. The conditions, the stadium's good this time, but maybe the finding rosters and names and the stuff is hard at the amateur levels. So it's a fake pass.
Nice.
And they give it.
They faked our cameraman.
Oh, and a nice tackle. 21 with the sure tackle.
Charles Aslan on the carry.
There's 21 on the defense.
Yes, I'd almost call that a Statue of Liberty.
Well, it's very similar, yeah.
He made a good fake, though, and kind of backhanded the ball to Aslan.
So that was Manny Thieber that made that tackle. We'll try to get a look of it. But just kind of slew-footed Aslan. And like you said, Steve, that we'll take a look at the replay here. It's a fake pass, and then he just kind of gives it to him there.
Faked out our camera guy.
Camera guy got it, but look at this tackle here. Right there, boom, slew-footed him.
Didn't let him get by. That's a slew-footed?
Well, it's that's what I'm going with.
We'll take it.
So to end the first quarter, Myers Riders now with a 4th and goal. Will they kick the 3? They do have a good kicker. But this is Inter-Provincial Bowl Championship football, so I think you got to go for it here.
Yeah, well, we saw from last game, you don't want to not be able to go tit for tat with the team, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You got to be able to respond. So let's see what Myers can do here. And, of course, the Rebels are really looking to hold him here. He's getting some time. He's got to really... All right, that was an incomplete pass. That will bring up, it looks like they got a first down here. It says first down and 7. Second quarter, 11:36 left in it. Well, that was a turnover on downs, I apologize. Jesse and I are kind of gathering as much as we can as we go along here. Production is always challenging a little bit. Let's see what Les Rebels can do. Ball's on the 7-yard line. No, they're a little confused as to where to mark it. There it is. 7-yard line. The Rebels would really like to be able to get the ball out a little bit. Straight up the middle. 27, Justin Charon. He picks up 6 yards.
But you can see we went from Mosquito to Pee Wee and now Bantam. They're a little bit faster, a little bit bigger now. The collisions are a little bit more intense, and they're all a little bit more sure tacklers now at this point.
So we're on the 13, second and 4.
And as we see as quarterback goes, a little screen pass type of underneath route to 25. He's got something. He's brought down at about the 31-yard line, but we're starting to see at this level, these teams are starting to settle in with each other. It's only a 7-0 ball game, but these boys are fast and they're big. And
that's Mathis Lamontagne on the reception.
And they could chuck the ball deep down the field.
Picks up a first down, 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line with 10:28 left in the half.
That's a good shot there. So what do they have for us here? They're going to the air. This team likes to pass. They go over the middle, but it's going to be, should have been picked by the Riders defender. He's going to want that one back.
That was Nicolas Gilles Brunet.
And that pick would have given the Myers Riders great field position on the Rebels side of the 50. So he's going to want that one back. Let's have a quick look at that.
I apologize. No, it wasn't. It was Sean Bastable on the potential interception there.
Just came in a little too quick for him. So back to live action. Rebels hand it off up the middle, and the Riders,
wow,
defensive line, including Manny, up front.
Yeah, Manny Mansoret.
So Mansoret, he's been a force on the defensive line for the Myers Riders all season. Their A-Cup championship run. But he's standing there, you know, they've got a good stout defense. They're playing, it looks like a 3-4 right now.
3rd and 10, Jesse.
And as long as they can, I think right now we're seeing visibly that this Rebels team wants to pass it all day. So this is going to be a tough test right now. The Riders are playing 2 deep. So it looks like a cover 2 with 2 free safeties there. This time it's defended well.
Another great open field tackle. Not sure who that was on the great tackle, but I think it might have been Jonas Passian. Kind of hard to see, but you know that the Rebels are going to Mathis Lamontagne out wide. But I'll tell you, that was a fantastic open field tackle, and I believe it was Jonas Pazian.
What you want to do, you know, sometimes, especially if you're playing a cover 2 with a strong safety and a free safety over top, I think that's a good defense to be in for this Rebels team. I haven't had a chance to see this team play before, but it looks like they've got some good receivers and a quarterback that can both run and pass. So the DBs are going to have to stay on coverage. And
for a punt. Nice punt. Wow.
And they're not going to
launched it.
When the quarterback runs around, they can't be dropping coverage. So they're going to have to be disciplined in the secondary to not get burnt deep.
And that was Jack Ashby Jacobs on the return. He didn't get much, but that was a great boot. He had to go back. Luckily, it bounced up into his hands. We saw that last week on one of the running backs as he fumbled the ball on the end sweep, and it bounced right back up into his hands.
And Jacobs, you know, this is one of my favorite players on the Riders team. I always see him when I'm out shooting the other games. The guy goes to not only, you know, he's out there playing for the Bantam level Riders, but he's out there supporting the other teams at the younger divisions. He's a kid that always good for a good joke when you see him. You know, he's got a great sense of humor. And he scored the touchdown against the Riders early on where he was in the back of the end zone, and Tyler Shibley found him in the first quarter to crack open the scoring for the Myers Riders in that A-Cup championship game last week. Looks like a screen over to Aslan. Aslan's got some room, and he's broken through into the secondary there, and he'll have the first down and more up to about the center field there. So there's no question that
So it's first down on the 54.
There's no question that the Myers Riders have the tools to get the job done here. They expect to win. I've talked to the head coach, Scott Boxtell, about this. This is the team that we mentioned at the Mosquito broadcast, won the Inter-Provincial Bowl at Pee Wee 2 years ago. And they've got the horses. It's just a matter of if they're going to be able to get the job done here today.
Aslan, I think, is dropped for a bit of a loss. Let's take a look here. I think it's second, and we brought it back to the line of scrimmage. We're talking 7 and 10. Ball in the 54, 6:53 left in the second quarter. We're taking a look at the Rebels line there.
Now, both these teams, you know, they're in this game for a reason. They can score any time in the game, so it's always exciting watching these two teams play because they're always one play away from breaking it. Here they go up and over, and lucky that wasn't intercepted. Number 8 knocks the ball down.
Jerome Leclerc. Man,
no, I think number 8 is Matthew Barcelo. Number 8 knocking that down is a linebacker, I think, number 8.
I'm sorry, I must have read the wrong number, Jesse.
There's number 8 there, a good shot of him. He knocks the ball down. Probably could have picked it off, and that was on second down. So a missed opportunity there for him. Shibley looking to pass again. He's directing traffic. He goes deep. He's got a receiver, but the ball's underthrown. And also another ball that probably could have been picked, but wasn't.
It's Aslan again. He's a favorite target, obviously.
So
oh, sorry, no, it wasn't Aslan. I'm sorry, it was Nicholas Sarkozy.
So the Riders, they want, I guess they sense the urgency of getting on the board here, because the first series, the Rebels are able to score a touchdown. It's been a couple series. They found some success here and there, but I can tell just by the play calling that they're looking to prove to themselves that they're in this and they can score. So sometimes that leads to maybe throwing the ball deep into double coverage when you shouldn't be. It's still very early in the game.
Right.
I think it's important for Myers and Aslan to really establish a run game that they can carry throughout the game. But we'll see what they do here on the next play. It is a first down. They pump fake, and they go deep, and it's underthrown again.
Yep, there's a pass interference. I think that was almost it should have been a non-call. It looked like he was just running downfield.
And was it offensive pass interference or defense?
Well, Jesse, I think it's pass interference on the defense. There you go, the call. Although it was almost like a...
Let's have a look at it.
Incidental contact,
So let's have a look. So they get the defender to bite there.
Right.
And
watch this, Jesse.
And then they pass it up. You be the judges at home.
Like he's just. Well,
you know what he did? They call that fencing. So as a defense, you can't defend and make contact with the receiver without looking back and trying to make a play on the ball. So
if he had looked back,
it might not have been a call.
Right. Okay. Learn something new every day, Jesse. I thought baseball.
But in that case, that gives Myers a first down, and you got to think. You gotta believe right now, if you're the Myers Riders team, we're saying we got first down. We're well in the Rebels territory here. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. It would be pretty important to get some points on the board in this series.
You'd hate to miss any opportunities, right? I mean,
well, you don't get many, and as you saw in the Pee Wee game, things were going pretty good until you miss one or two chances, and then things can really open up the floodgates, and before you know it, you're not even able to have a chance. Anyways, we see the huddles of the teams here, and still early on in the Inter-Provincial Bowl game championship at Bantam, Myers Riders defeating the Cumberland Panthers last week to punch their ticket to this game. And Tyler Shibley hands it off to Aslan, who's wrapped up instantly by number 66.
Alexander Fleury-Bourget on a nice stop.
Bourget just holding strong there on the D-line. He's playing.
Matthew Barcelo was also in the tackle.
He's playing right end there for the Rebels.
That makes it 2nd and 10 on the 27.
If you're watching this at home, let us know where you're watching from. Comment on Facebook or YouTube where you're catching this championship game. Shibley fakes it twice and goes deep for a corner, but it's overthrown. So early on, it looks like Shibley's not that accurate. We've seen a couple of underthrown, a couple overthrown.
It was a good play, and the guy was actually open. It had to be thrown right through the needle, though.
Yeah, and as it gets colder, it becomes more difficult to throw accurately. But at the same time, it's early in the game. It's a big game. I know this team's expected to win here in Ottawa. A lot of pressure on them, so maybe they're just getting the nerves out at this point.
3rd and 10.
Manageable.
Two running backs in I formation. They're looking for a in route to. Oh, and he fumbles though.
Jack Ashby Jacobs drops the ball. No flag in play. Looks like the Rebels will take over.
And that is too bad because that was a really nice in route. They got about 10 yards, and he was trying to make something happen after the fact, and they got in there with their gloves and knocked the ball out.
Man, they were really pushing the air there.
Let's have a look at that replay here and see what happened. You see the in route by the one receiver. He catches it. It's close to the sticks. Tries to kind of make it through, and the ball's jarred out, and it's a turnover. So it's too bad for the Myers Riders because we just talked about how important it is to keep pace with a team like this.
Rebels have 1st and 10 on the 39. Matthew Barcelou.
Out of the shotgun, he's going to hand off. And a little seam by number 7.
To Malik Payne. Gets about 2 or 3 in the carry.
He just pops through really quickly.
That'll bring up 2nd, and it says 16, but I believe it's less than 16.
After this game, we've got the midget championship between the Orleans Rasmen and the West Ottawa Knights. Orleans Rasmen, actually the team that's representing Quebec, even though they're in the East End, 10 minutes from downtown Ottawa. So go figure.
Barcelou takes and drags a couple of defenders about 3 or 4 yards. That should make it 3rd down and about 4. On the 43.
Help us share the link. Everyone watching on Facebook, share it on your timeline. Maybe tag a few people that you know are supporters of youth athletics. We're trying to grow the exposure for the sport of football, get more kids playing off of the couch, playing video games, and onto a roster. On 3rd down, the Rebels decide to hand off again, and that's going to be very close to a 1st down. I think they're going to spot it a 1st down.
Oh, you're right, Jesse. They only needed 3 yards there, and it looks like they got about 2.98, 2.99. Let's see if they're going to measure this or they're just going to call it a 1st down. Look at that referee. He's just about to give us the sign. He's going, I don't know. That's really close. What do you guys think?
Will they measure it? I mean, it sure looked like they gave it to him there by the spot.
Well, if you take a look, the marker is just before the line. Oh, okay, they got it. 1st and 10 on the 50.
So 2:37 left in the 1st half. Myers looking for a stop here. It's only down 7-0. Lots of time left, but this game seems to be going a little bit quicker.
He wants to take it himself, but Myers puts up a tough D right there. I don't know, Jesse. I think they held him up. Matthew Barcelou on the carry. Let's see if he got.
Well, that was 1st down, right?
Oh,
so
I'm sorry.
I think they were given the 1st down the last play on a close measurement, but now it'll be
2nd and 8.
2nd down, yes.
Taking a look at the Myers line. They're going to try to get a massive stop here.
They pit their ears back here on 2nd down. Kind of an offset backfield there for the Rebels. They fake the handoff, they pass up, and nearly intercepted by the Myers corner, number 2. He played that really well. Krupe. Famous Ottawa football family. The still an executive is Janet Krupe on the Bel Air Lions, helping out there. I played with her son, a quarterback, John Krupe, and nice play by.
It was a nice stop there. Yeah, he managed to step up in front of the receiver, knowing it was a little bit under, maybe overthrown.
Overthrown a little,
and he got up in the guy's, at least in his grill, so he couldn't see the ball.
That's what you want out of these receivers is, you're entitled to that ball just as much as the receiver. So this time the Rebels go deep, and they've got somebody open, but it's just overthrown. And that quarterback's going to want that ball back.
It's intended for Mathis Lamontagne, who they've been has been a favorite receiver all game. But Barcelo just overthrew him, or that would have been 6 for sure.
So I like this Barcelo kid, though. He looks pretty complete for the Bantam level.
Well, I'm enjoying both teams. They're going to the air, and I enjoy that. That's a lot of fun to see that ball up in the air a lot. I think what they're looking for is the big strike. You know, someone's looking to hit a home run with one of those, because it'll certainly put the other team at a disadvantage.
So they decide to punt, and that goes down.
Good kick.
And wisely
goes out at the 27.
Wisely out of the reach of the receiver, Myers receiver, Jack Ashby Jacobs, because he's been known to take some back. There's a shot of him there. So after the fumble, Myers gets the ball back with 1:36 left. It's more than enough time, but they're going to have to be smart with their play calls.
We've got some stingy D out here tonight, Jesse. I know you're a big D fan.
Well, you know, I'd say it's only 7-point ball game, but there's been a few open receivers that have been overthrown and underthrown, so it could be opened up a little bit more than it seems.
Maybe that's a credit to the D line. Maybe it's a credit to defense. You know,
that's true. Tyler Shibley, first down. He's got another shot to get his Riders defense or Riders offense moving.
Nice catch.
And a nice catch. A little out by number 81. And that'll set up 2nd and 8 for the Riders. It's important for both teams here to stay in it early, because what happens, especially with some of these really talented championship teams, is that they can really get ahead early, and then it makes it almost impossible to come back. This time, a late draw play to Aslan, and Aslan does the rest themselves and breaks forward for a first down. They're going to need more of that.
That was a nice tackle by Manny Thibert, though. Nice open field tackle.
Sure was. Got him by the ankles, and that's what you teach. Especially if you're a smaller defender, you go low. And
textbook tackle. Here we go. We've got 1st and 10, Jesse, with 58 seconds left on the 40.
So another quick little draw play, and there's the lateral footwork that I talked about with Aslan.
Nice.
And Aslan.
Wow, he breaks it.
Aslan doing a lot here to get his Riders in good position. Only 44 seconds left, so look to maybe some. Now they've set up the pass with a couple of draw plays, a couple of runs. Maybe what they do is they run a screen here, or they go to number 3 down there on your bottom of your screen. Great shot by the crew. Shibley, flags fly. He goes deep. Oh, nearly picked off by the DB. I don't think that play was going to count either way, but.
Well, I tell you what, that was for the Rebels, Mathis Lamontagne again.
So he's somebody that's been all over the field here. Let's have a quick look at that pass play. So Shibley just 5-step drop, lets it go, but once again, it's just not getting there. I don't know. The wind's not even that big of a condition here, so Shibley just.
I think maybe they'd look for shorter passes, you know, just in the secondary and all, like just little screen stuff that, you know, they can move the ball, just keep moving those sticks.
Well, they don't have much time. 38 seconds left in the half. Shibley, 5-step drop. Eludes a little bit of traffic, but he is caught. And that they're going to rule that a fumble.
Because the hand was in motion forward?
Yeah, I don't think it was forward motion. I think they got him before.
It was the interception by Stefano Lourenco.
We'll have a look at that in a second here, but the Rebels take over and quash Myers' chance of getting any points on the board before the end of the half.
That's tough.
Let's have a look at the replay, Steve.
Yep. Reminds me of the game of the night when Phillip Rivers was just letting go of the ball and he got hammered.
That's right. So, he eludes the pressure here nicely. It's some good footwork that they teach you as quarterback, but right there, he just couldn't get the ball moving.
It was gang it at the end there. It was tough.
Back to live action here. Rebels first and 10, only 24 seconds left. They go deep, and it's overthrown.
Oh.
So
he had broken from the crowd, man. If that was right thrown, he was away.
I wonder if the quarterbacks are having trouble with their accuracy and their velocity because they're used to playing in such poor weather at this time of year that they're used to throwing into the wind. It's kind of a windless night. It's a beautiful, beautiful, balmy November night, and warmer than typical time around this year, and they're overthrowing the receivers here.
Always overthrowing the receivers. It's
Is that super choppy?
It's at the very second, it's actually like fine. Before it was like I could hear every second word kind of thing, but
I'll wait here for a second, see if it gets better.
yeah. Right now it's fine. Oh,
So we've got
yeah.
a couple of minutes here. The referees, we're going to step aside quickly for a short
Just
commercial break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by House Edge Media. House Edge Media is a creative marketing agency based in Ottawa that helps businesses innovate and automate their digital marketing activities. Visit them at houseedgemedia.com.
You think it's an accident? You think it's luck? You think it matters where you play? How good your teammates are? There's no showcase event needed here. Keep it.
And we're back here just to close out the second quarter. The Rebels fake the handoff, and then it's going to be the quarterback that takes it himself and high steps a few players. He's only leaving himself 10 seconds unless they call a timeout here. They're going to whistle this in, and they might not have time for another play. But, you know, if you're the Myers coaching staff, you're telling them to get back. So, clock's in. This will be the last play of the half. So they will get one play. So they won't have to rush back to the line. They're going to get one play no matter what. But
they're going to air this one
Oh,
out.
yeah.
They've been doing it every other
yeah,
play.
and I'm going to say it's going to be number 3 they're going to
Well,
up there in the high
wouldn't
slot.
they love to get
or
another
number 20
score?
in the low slot there. He goes out. No, they're going to the wide out. Number 25, he's picked off.
Oh!
So Myers defends that well, stops.
James Donnelly with the interception just before the half. Actually, right at the half.
Oh, and it's funny that it's Donnelly, because in the promo I created for the Inter-Provincial Bowl early this week, we showed a clip of the same Donnelly at the Pee Wee level getting an interception in that Inter-Provincial Bowl game. So he's there's a pattern here of Donnelly stepping up for the Riders in the Inter-Provincial Bowls, and we're going to see if the Myers Riders have what it takes to take down this St. Hubert Rebels team that looked pretty impressive here in the first half. We'll just try to get a quick replay here of that last play. They run an out there with the slot, and then they have the wide out just run a post, a skinny post, but it's off target, and Donnelly's there to make sure that nothing happens. And that brings us to halftime, where the St. Hubert Rebels are up 7-0 on the Myers Riders, but still, a whole half of football ready to go, still to go. And we're going to step aside momentarily for halftime, and when we come back, we'll have the second half of the Bantam Inter-Provincial Championship.
House Edge Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Capital Amateur Football Association.
Tackle, and he's into the end zone for the North Shore Mustangs. Win the inaugural Midget Championship at the 2017 Inter-Provincial Bowl Series. Banas sets up, throws, and it's picked off by Traore at the 20. One man to beat. Traore still on his feet. He'll score. Win the Bantam Championship in the Inter-Provincial Bowl Series. Mustangs. White turns out to his left, throws that one, and that's picked off. And James Donnelly with the pick.
Dropping back to pass as a man deep in the end zone, and he got it. It's a touchdown.
That is.
And puts it right in the hands of Jaheim Newton. Newton still on his feet at the 10. Newton will score.
Rocky Balboa, the Italian style.
It's fumbled and picked up by the Raiders, and it looks like they're going to take this one all the way back to the 20 and now to the 10, and it is a touchdown for the Myers Riders. It off the Moak once again. Will try to get his way down the outside, breaks a tackle, gets to the goal line, and he scores. It's a touchdown.
That is.
You know what's going on. Nice best team in the league.
There comes a moment when every man must declare their allegiance. Every player must choose a team. Must choose what they stand for. September, finish where you started. Finish NCAFA Midget.
Inside bound, and it is a touchdown.
All games filmed. Team huddle accounts. Top-level coaching. University exposure. Game of the Week live broadcast.
What an interception! Tremendous play. Dropping back from Keegan. It's a foot race, and there he goes! Touchdown! In the end zone, it is caught for the win! Awesome time. Deep shot from Parker.
September, finish where you started. Finish NCAFA Midget.
HESN would like to thank Abley Productions for its support of this broadcast. This broadcast is brought to you in part by House Edge Media. House Edge Media is a creative marketing agency based in Ottawa that helps businesses innovate and automate their digital marketing activities. Visit them at houseedgemedia.com. Hey football fans, Mike Sutherland here, voice of your Ottawa Redblacks and a huge supporter of minor football in our area. My friends at HESN are doing some great work for our local minor sports leagues, and I encourage you to become a subscriber, supporter, and viewer. Now, back to the game.
You think it's an accident. You think it's luck. You think it matters where you play, how good your teammates are.
And we are back with the second half. Kickoff just about to begin. And the Riders only down 7-0. So this is an indication of the kind of game we're going to have here in the second half. And this will be a good one. The all-time series record between Montreal and Ottawa in the Inter-Provincial Bowl, this is the third annual edition, is 7-2. So if Ottawa's going to climb back into this all-time series record, they're going to need a win here at Bantam and Midget. We'll see if that is what happens in just a moment. So Ottawa really, and the funny thing about the midget level is even if the QMFL wins the Inter-Provincial Bowl at midget, is it a QMFL win? Because it's the Orleans Rasmen that played in the QMFL. They were given a year exemption by NCAFA to play in the first division. I would say most people didn't expect them to do very well because in 2018, the teams are so strong in the QMFL. The Sun Youth Hornets were, as we saw, defeated the West Ottawa Knights, and the West Ottawa Knights went undefeated. They did have a close game in the championship Ottawa game against the Giants, but overall, they ended up losing to the Sun Youth Hornets, and the Orleans Rasmen go into the first division this year, and they go 8-2. And one of their 2 losses was to the West Ottawa Knights. So this is going to be a great game coming up at the midget level. But rules are rules, and really the QMFL will, if the Orleans Rasmen win that, they will go up. So really the best that the Ottawa can do this year at this point, we did win at Mosquito, lost at Pee Wee. If we get a win at the Bantam and midget divisions, we can bring the series 7-5. Sorry, 7-4. So that's the best that we'll be able to do here today. And the question is Myers going to be the team that can do this? Only down 7-0, just about to start the second half. So last preparations, the teams are huddling up. Myers ready to go on the field. The Rebels off on the far side, on the north side of the stands at TD Place. Night has fallen upon the stadium, and no snow and no rain, though.
So, Jesse.
Yeah.
7-0 game. What do you do if you're up 7-0 at the half? You're just playing the same game?
I don't think you do anything because
right.
7 points isn't a whole lot.
Right.
They got lucky. Well, they didn't get lucky. They bombed it down on the first series, and they got an open defender, and then they punched it in with a good running back. So they've been going to the air. I think they're going to still keep their identity. It got them to this place, right? They've won the championship in the city of Montreal. So I think at this point for both teams, you don't switch anything.
I was just going to say, I don't think either team is going to settle down and not throw it like they were in the first half. If you remember last game, Jesse, the second half brought on a ridiculous new game.
That's right. Yeah, so you never know. And the one thing that the disadvantage or the advantage, depending on which way you look at it at this level, is they don't have film on each other like they do at the midget level.
Right.
So it's a little bit of preparing your team to do what you've always done, but not worrying too much about what the other team's doing, right?
Right.
If you start playing into the other team and what they're doing, maybe you lose a little bit of your identity and you sway from what you're good at.
For sure. And I would think that, from what I've seen in minor football is that each team is going to have a couple of key guys. So as a coach, you're quickly watching the first few plays because they're going to go to their big horses the first few plays, right, just to see what they got. That's going to tell me a lot right there.
That's right, Steve. And we're getting a shot of head coach Scott Boxtall, also the president of Myers Riders. So he's done a phenomenal job with this organization and just a great guy. I can't say enough about Scotty. We're great to have him, guys like him and ladies like Tina that are really, Tina Melito at Myers Riders helping out with the organization, keeping Myers Riders strong. People are talking about that territory where there's less and less kids in that area because the housing is a little expensive in Nepean now. You're seeing more and more families move to the perimeters of the city because that's where you can afford houses. But there are kids in that area that love football, and as we saw, the Myers Riders were able to put teams in the Inter-Provincial Bowl at Pee Wee and Bantam. So got to work hard, but it's there. Mm-hmm. And that's a good sign to other clubs on how to do it, is to follow the lead of Myers Riders of pounding the pavement, flyering, and getting a good social media presence happening so that parents and kids are aware that football is alive and well in their area of town. And now, what is it like in baseball? How's registration in baseball?
Well, I was just going to make a note here that I've told you before that I was always amazed that football teams need, 50 guys on a team when baseball and hockey, you're dealing with, 15 to 23 guys on a roster. Guys are going both ways, and I notice there's quite a few guys that go both ways here as well. But it's such a big organization. I'm always noticing how many coaches you have, how many parents, how many people helping out on the sidelines. You know, you can really do baseball with a couple of coaches and players and the umpires, but football takes a huge team to pull this together.
Well,
and I'm very impressed with NCAFA and all the parents and the people helping out and getting involved. And it must make a pretty exciting time for these kids.
Well, you know, I think the kids do notice that there's a big league around them and supporting them, and when they get to a championship game, you realize there's a lot of people watching you, and there's you might be only a tyke player at that moment, but you realize there's 4 other divisions, and they're all kind of curious to see who's in the A-Cup Championship or the Inter-Provincial Bowl. And now with the advent of having these games broadcasted online, I'm not sure what the delay is here, but it looks like there's some issues with something, because the refs are at center field, and
maybe they're just gonna have them run at each other and smash.
They're gonna do the beep test to see who the winner is. We're gonna step aside just as we get through this this short break here and figure out what's going on, but we'll be back shortly with you.
Tackle, and he's into the end zone for the North Shore Mustangs. Win the inaugural Midget Championship at the 2017 Inter-Provincial Bowl Series. Banas sets up, throws, and it's picked off by Traore at the 20. One man to beat. Traore still on his feet. He'll score. Win the Bantam Championship in the Inter-Provincial Bowl Series. Mustangs. White turns out to his left, throws that one, and that's picked off. And James Donnelly with the pick.
Dropping back to pass as a man deep in the end zone, and he got it. It's a touchdown.
That is.
And puts it right in the hands of Jaheim Newton. Newton still on his feet at the 10. Newton will score.
Rocky Balboa, the Italian style.
And we are back here. There's a short problem with the clock and the scoreboard, so they've gotten that sorted out, and now we're ready for the kickoff of the second half. Here we go. Myers will receive, and that goes to Aslan. Aslan gets the ball, though, but he is ridden back to about the 35-yard line. 7-0. St. Hubert Rebels up over the Myers Riders at the Bantam Inter-Provincial Bowl Series.
Why is this making me hungry, Jesse?
Well, somebody brought in a bunch of Rice Krispie squares a couple minutes
Must
ago.
be St. Hubert. I love a chicken, a quarter chicken dinner right now. I don't know what it is. It must be just something.
Is it better than Swiss Chalet?
I think they're the same thing.
I've never had it.
I don't know.
But
I think they're the same
They
thing.
push the cheese curds more there, though. Than
poutine or just regular straight up?
I think they just do the, I don't know. It's a good question.
All right.
1st and 10, Tyler Shibley, the captain here of the Myers Riders offense. They hand off to Aslan.
Wow.
And he gets about 9 yards there if they give him forward progression. But it looks like the identity of Myers, and there's a player down, so that's not good. It looks like maybe an offensive lineman that might have gotten
76.
rolled over on.
Looking at Justin Lacasse.
Oh, and I think he's holding you know what, so.
Oh, no.
That's never good to see,
No.
but it does happen, and he will get over it.
But Aslan did pick up 6 yards here to make it 2nd and 4 on the 47 with 11:10 left in the third quarter.
So I don't know what the temperature is, but it's not too cold, but it's deceivingly cold.
We can tell when it starts to creep in here that it's starting to get a little cold out there. And, of course, the camera op's saying, have you got any hand warmers?
So it's easy for us in the TD executive suite to say it's not that cold with a heater running near my feet on a swivel, but yeah, it's definitely November football weather in Ottawa.
Well, Jesse, we don't have it that good because the coffee machine just stopped. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, too many cooks in the kitchen, I think, are using it.
Too many coffees in the day. That's
So sorry.
But I do want to say thanks again to TD Place, the wonderful employees. There's been so many people helping us out, getting us set up. This is a wonderful place to broadcast a game, and it's just unfortunate the old Red Blacks aren't playing here anymore this season.
They'll be back. They got a really interesting offseason ahead of us, so I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. And sometimes change is good.
Well, I was saying just the other day that, you know, when we won the Grey Cup, you just know you're going to get picked over. Jason Moss, the first notable departure going to Edmonton Eskimos, you know, that lost our offensive coordinator. Your players get picked over, and you have a little bit of a settle down to the bottom.
You have success, and then you got to go to the market, right? So it's the natural part of pro sports. But here we go. We've got amateur sports, youth football, which is, in my opinion, some of the most exciting stuff. It's fun to watch these kids perform on the big stage here at TD Place.
Good coverage by Justin Charon there.
Yeah, there's a little comeback route on the top of your screen by the wideout. And that's a hard throw, though. You know, it's a big, wide football field in Canada, and to ask a 15-year-old like Tyler Shibley to get that ball on a big comeback on the wide side.
I actually think it was pretty well thrown, actually. It didn't miss by much there. He's got to throw it back on the inside, right? You can't let that defender get a shot at it.
But on 3rd and maybe a short 5, Tyler's out of the shotgun. He's going to toss to the right to Aslan, and Aslan puts his hand out there to try to...
Oh, boy. He always manages to make something out of nothing.
I know, and I talked about Tyler last weekend. I talked about him earlier to start this game. Some of the best feet work that I've seen. You know, he's got really, really great balance, and reminds me of McCaffrey in the NFL a little bit. But it's a holding on the offense for Myers, so that's going to turn their 4th and 1 back to, I think, 3rd and
4.
11.
Oh, wait. Oh, God, yeah.
3rd and 14 or so.
Yeah, no, you're right. 3rd and 10, it says here on the clock. On the 37-yard line. Well, we know that you might be airing this ball out, so if you're the Rebels, you're going to want to make sure that secondary's tight.
Well, and I would look to maybe that little Statue Liberty play that they run. That's a nice play.
How many times can you run that?
When they're expecting pass, but no, they're going to go pass, and it's a dangerous pass. But they're going to call pass interference, I think, on that.
Really? Wow.
Even though, you know, the defender has a right to the ball. So if he's running through him and he makes contact on his way to get the ball, it's kind of a gray area. Do you flag him, or do you say that he was just entitled to his space?
I would like to find out who on the Riders is 81, because he's not on our score sheet here, and I'm wanting to call his name, and I'm sorry I can't. So if there's anybody in the...
yeah, they're going to give it, that's pass interference, so it's going to be first down to Myers. Let's just have a look at that, because I'm not sure if that... if I would make that call.
Bit of a tough call there for sure.
But it's down here on the bottom of your screen. You see that he runs basically like a 15-yard out.
Maybe it's happening.
And he was
here.
open. The ball's a little behind him. Yeah, I would say that's
got bumped.
Pass
okay, back to it.
So good call. Back to live action now. First down, Myers.
High formation, shotgun.
Shibley's going deep over the middle. Oh! And that ball is tipped straight up in the air, and there's a few defenders, including the Myers Riders receiver at the right behind it all, that probably could have gone for the deflection.
Tell you, Jesse, I'm really excited though that they're just airing it out. They're just going for it, and I compliment them. You know,
you're a pass man.
Well, I just think it's exciting football. You know, and to do that, you're really sticking your neck out there.
Yeah.
Because we see what happens in the cold weather.
Let's just have a quick look here before we jump back to live action. That was kind of deflected up in the air. And yeah, you see it just goes up, back to live action, guys. It's got you back just
again,
in time.
Back again.
Another
Screen,
flag
nice.
in the back of the there. Aslan gets the screen pass. Can't see where the sticks were there. Now I wonder what that flag was though. Was that roughing the passer? Or? There you get a shot of Aslan, who perhaps
game breaker, baby.
One of the most impressive running backs at the Bantam level. Not sure. I am assuming that he is going to midget next year, and he's going to be a welcomed addition to any midget program. You've got the kids for potentially 3 years there. We're getting the call here. It's second down, so not
20 to go.
That was on Myers. Not exactly sure, to be honest, what it was.
But I'll tell you, if both teams, should be cutting down on the penalties here. It can really, really take a bite out of your offense.
So on second and a country mile, Shibley throws back to 7 on a screen. Well-designed play. And he comes back nearly to the original line of scrimmage. But
another flag.
Another flag. So
objectionable conduct, maybe.
A lot of laundry being aired here at this point, but that was running back Andrew McConnell on the screen. But a really nice designed play. A little bit of misdirection. Some play action in there. And
3rd and 11 on the 48.
It's covered decently well by the St. Hubert Rebels.
8 minutes left in the 3rd.
Don't forget, we've got the Midget Inter-Provincial Bowl Championship between 2 Ottawa-based teams, the Orleans Rassmen and the West Ottawa Knights, coming up after this, the conclusion of the Bantam Inter-Provincial Bowl.
He is just going to the air.
Shibley gets outside the pocket to his right side, throws that ball into the dirt and away from any...
Man was there. He was open.
Anything bad happening. It did look like he was being chased by the defender, and maybe if he threw it out in front of him, maybe he could have completed. But I don't know if that would have been a first down anyways, unless he turned it up. He would have had to would have had to have been a missed tackle for him to make the first down there. But a punting situation, I think, for Myers here.
4th and 7.
And but they were able to keep the ball, move the chains a few times, and they're going to have to give it back to the Rebels here. And what I would say is I would not want to kick it into play with any of these receivers, number 20 and 21 of the Rebels.
Nice kick.
But I think that's a good punt out of bounds and away from any trouble.
Well, the way we've been seeing returns today, I'm happy to kick it out of bounds.
Yeah, we've seen a couple. We saw
the last game
a reverse that went for nearly a touchdown with the Pee Wee game, and there you see a shot of the receiver, number 3 there, Jack Ashby Jacobs. They're going to need him to make some plays here in the second half. But right now, it's going to be the Myers defense that keeps the game under control.
I mean, it's funny. It's still a 7-0 game. It seems, and it's.
There you see a shot of first play of scrimmage. Oh, and a nice tackle.
Hit.
92 with a huge.
Malcolm McDonald with a crazy hit off the line.
McDonald literally just.
Defensive tackle, big boy.
Perfect timing on that. And he shot the gap, and it just blew up that play in the backfield. We'll have a quick shot of that play because it's so good. You see McDonald just blow up his gap right there, right into the backfield. Back to line action here. And another nice play by the Myers defense.
Looks like 39, Fatty Cal.
I think it was also Manny Mansoure there that helped disrupt that play.
You might be right, Jesse. I could completely be wrong here.
Well,
trying to get the numbers as best I can.
Yeah, it's kind of like multitasking at its finest here up in the booth. Oh, and a big screen play to 21. We saw them run that earlier. It's a screen, but then he runs over across the middle. And number 21 getting some good yardage.
There's a flag, Jesse. Late flag. Manny Thibert on the reception.
So Thibert, number 21, is also one of the kick returners there. He got good yardage, and it looks like they're going to award him a first down. It's a penalty on Myers. So first down, Rebels. And with 5:34 left in the third quarter, this game is more than tight. 7-0 for the Rebels over the Myers Riders at the Bantam Inter-Provincial Bowl.
Third down, 14 on the 32. 5:30 left in the third quarter.
So 21 Thibault's off the slot, off the left side of the O-line. He's looking to him there. This time they hand it off to number 7, who has a hard time getting anything up the middle there.
Malik Payne on the carry.
So Payne runs into a whole defense worth of pain there,
including Manny Mansoure.
Yeah, Mansoure's it's a player that's hard not to notice when you see him out there. I mean, he's got tree trunks for legs, and as a 14 or 15-year-old, they sit him there at defensive tackle, and he basically holds the gap and makes it very difficult to find anything in the teeth of that defense. On second down, they're going to a pass situation. They run the jet sweep with Thibault, and he's got room. Open field tackle by...
That is
number
45, I think.
44, I think.
44.
He made the tackle,
Still don't have a
but
44.
not before first yard was gained.
There's nobody there under those numbers, sorry. We're trying, folks.
Yeah, I always thought it was interesting that rosters are hard to get. Like, when somebody signs up, don't you just get their name and put it on the roster? But it's difficult, I guess.
So we'll just do the best we can.
So Rebels on the charge. They hand it off to 7, who goes around the left side of the tackle there and gets a good 9 or 10. Actually, his teammates are helping him get the first down. So I think that it's going to be another first down. And
Malik Payne again.
They're starting to look at Malik Payne, and look, they're starting to. You can see the players are getting at each other a little bit now. This is a lot on the line here for these young players.
You probably take it quite personally if they keep hammering it to one guy and he just hammers.
When you're on defense and you can't stop a running back,
that's what I was saying.
It turns nasty quick.
Yeah, it can be very frustrating as a football fan when your defense is out for a long time and you know that they're just getting more and more tired. That's tough.
Will they keep it on the ground? They fake to Payne. They run the screen in behind him with Thibault, and he's good for about 4 yards, but now they're knocking on the door late in the third quarter. They're going to have a 2nd and 3 from the 7-yard line. So this isn't looking good for Myers right now. They're going to need somebody to step up big time and hope that the play calling is something maybe a little unnecessary for the offense. I mean, if I'm them, I'm running Payne up the middle for the next 4 downs.
Max Payne, baby.
This time the quarterback keeps it himself. Nice design play.
Hey, but Myers makes a stop, but it looks like a first down.
It's a flag on the field there. But I really like that play design because just based on what they've been doing up until this point on this series, this is a hard play to defend with a mobile quarterback.
I thought you might have been right, Jess. I thought it might have been like a direct snap to Payne and he ran by.
Let's have a quick look at that. So they fake the jet sweep, and then he just creates a little seam himself and runs. That's something that you would see that's akin to
The Riders declined, from what I
a
understand.
Johnny Manziel type play.
First and goal. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Let's see if they can punch it in. Myers has to make a stop here.
Quads to the right side of the quarterback. They bring 21 over in motion to make it a 5-pack. Under pressure, quarterback. Oh, I think that was dropped. I think the ref missed that.
I'm not sure, Jesse. I didn't see the drop myself.
I don't know if he caught that.
I mean, it looked fine to me, Jesse, but I may not have seen what you saw.
Let's go to the replay here, just to be sure. You see, as I said, they run the slot in on a quick in pass.
AJ Augustine.
No, I think he did get it. So
you're going for one
play and back for the extra point.
Uh-oh.
There's movement by Myers,
I don't
D-line.
see any
They try to jump that, but go offside.
All right, well, that's going to make it now 14-0, or is it 13? It should be 14, right? 'Cause it was 7.
13 until they decline the penalty. Yes, they do.
Okay.
14-0.
Okay, this is the time of game, Jesse, when Myers can find themselves slipping out of it. They need to get something going right now. I hope they don't abandon the air attack, though. It will happen. I just think that instead of going downfield, you just got to look at some screen passes, get a few yards here and there. Back a few years ago when the Red Blacks were doing so well, I said this is their MO. Just those little screen passes, and they get 4 and 5 yards every time.
Well, but they've been doing that. So if you looked at the last series, they ran a couple screens, and it did get some yardage. I mean, I think they had a few penalties there in the last sequence of offense, but you're right. I mean, it's going to be a combination of trying to draw the defense in with some play action and some screens, and then you're going to go over top, and you just got to hope you get lucky there.
Yep.
So here we go, kickoff to Myers.
Deep,
and they're going for the reverse, but it's sniffed out and
they
defended very well. They're probably better not to, and
the
just
Rebels saw that coming all the way.
Probably better to fake the reverse and then keep it going up the to the north side.
Just try to get as much as you can. Keep it going forward. There's a lot of razzle-dazzle noticing in the minor football. Like, you hardly ever see it in the pro game. Come down here. Well, it's the same as our baseball games. When they were younger, we'd have the first batter in the game bunt. Like, that's what they do, right, when minor sports. And if they can get away with it, they'll do it every time.
Right. And onside kicks sometimes
I see
are
a
the same
lot
thing.
of that,
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's see if Myers can get something going here, Jesse.
Well, they're going to need to get it going. They're going to need a spark. They've been kept off the scoreboard thus far. This time, Shibley fakes the pass and looking to go deep.
Oh, boy.
That's nearly a great catch
nice
by
pass. That was right there. Oh,
a little bit of frustration there.
Jack Ashby Jacobs, man, he's been a player all game, and he's frustrated because he could have made a big difference there. That would have broke it open.
Well, and you know what? It was defended well because they tried that earlier a couple times, and I think the cornerbacks learned. So he didn't bite on that quick little stutter step, faking the slant. And he just basically stood his ground, and Jacobs had to run right through him, and he couldn't. And
he was there, though. He had the ball.
As a defender, you're allowed to maintain your space, and you're entitled to your space.
I didn't think there was anything wrong with that other than he just didn't catch it. It's
so they're looking for that screen, but they sniffed that out.
He's getting
so
lots
he just
of time,
goes deep,
Jesse.
and he actually found somebody, but it's just defended there. Nearly picked off, so...
This is what I was saying earlier, Jesse. I think you should abandon those deep passes because
they're not biting at this point.
Well, even if not, you're not making the connection. Like, you're not making them make great plays because you're just missing. So I think you need to go a little shorter and try to get some first downs. Keep the ball. Put their defense in the heels for a bit.
I haven't seen them really test the middle of the field much, and it looks like they're putting a safety over top of that strong side there and kind of a cover two. And they've got a free safety, strong safety, And, you know, they're going to have to find little seams, and they're going to have to be much more accurate with their passing attack with ins, slants, curls, you know.
Right.
But, hey, hats off to the Rebels. Their defense is looking pretty good.
Jeez, they just keep going for it, though. I mean, you know, because when you're passing to the sidelines, it's a long pass.
Yeah.
So I'm saying get a guy in behind, just in the secondary, you know, and shovel him off the pass and see if he can get 3 or 4 more yards.
Well, they're playing them pretty tight, and they've got some athletes on this in the secondary. So,
but you haven't even tried it yet.
And truthfully, they did have some success on the run game, you know, early on with Aslan. So
yeah.
It looks like they're kind of abandoning the run game a little bit. They're running their screens, but
right now you're losing an identity. Like
there's
you're
a bit
not
of
establishing anything right now.
There's a bit of a smell of desperation here, if you ask me. I think they've got lots of time. They've got a full quarter here. This will be the last play of the third quarter. I think they need to get Aslan back in the game here. They go to the air. Shibley's going to take off with it himself.
Good play.
And he's going to have the first down. He puts his shoulder down. So
nice run.
That's a nice run.
Good way, really nice way to end the third quarter. Let's get a good fourth quarter here. Make a game out of it.
So this is something new. We haven't seen them run this yet. So maybe something that the coaches are saying, let's give this a try. We go to the replay here and see Shibley out of the shotgun just sits back and then takes off with it himself. He's a big physical quarterback for this age division. So
and
he doesn't have a problem putting his shoulder down, as we've seen before.
What I like there, Jesse, is there's so many times the air that you have to respect it, and then they take that opportunity and run it with the fake.
Right. Well, here we go to start the fourth quarter. Myers with another first down. They're down 2 scores, and this is going to be a comeback, and they're going to have to start now. This time.
Oh, my Lord, he's got it.
There he goes. Just as we said, Aslan getting involved in the offense again. He gets another first down, so the Myers Riders are on the move. Don't go away, folks.
Call, Jesse.
We might have a exciting finish here. We've already had 2 great games here with Canada Knights winning their Mosquito Inter-Provincial Bowl over the LaSalle Warriors, and at Pee Wee, Myers Riders falling to the St. Laurent Spartans. But here we go. The conclusion of the Bantam game still in question as Shibley takes off with it himself again. There's a flag. But he gets about 3 yards if that play stands. I think it might have been a hold on the offensive line. So in that case, they would back him up.
Hold.
So it is a hold on the offense, so that'll back him up. And now it puts him in a tough situation. So penalties for Myers has been kind of the story of this game. The defense has held them in there. It's only 14-0. And for this Bantam Myers team, they have no trouble scoring.
It's 1st and 20, Jesse.
But 1st and 20, I mean, penalties are putting them in a tough spot.
Yeah, they have to keep going to the air.
It's kind of making their offense one-dimensional with all these penalties, because what was a potentially 2nd and 5 now becomes a 1st and 20. And what do? They feel like they have to air it out, and that doesn't seem to be working for them.
And
the
when you
coverage
pick up
has been
6
too
yards, it's 2nd down and 14 still. And it was completed to our mystery player 84.
Right.
Unfortunately, we don't have 84 on our score sheet, so I'm going to call him 84. Jesse's trying to see that I've made a mistake, but I can assure you there's no 84 in our lineup.
What a play by the defense.
Jeez. That's tough.
Who is that number? It's kind of just a...
Looks like 66. 66 would be Alexandre Fleury-Bourget.
He's at a heck of a game. We've called his name out a lot today, and he's been a force on the defensive line for the Saint Hubert Rebels.
Yeah, he's a good athletic.
He's blowing up those
sure.
gaps. You know, if you look at this play, let's go to the replay, Steve. There he is on the line.
Strong kid.
Oh God, he's
blasts
just faster than everybody. I mean, he was across the line of scrimmage before the offense had gotten out of their stance, and he completely swallows up Aslan in the backfield, and that's going to be a little demoralizing for the Myers Riders, where that penalty set them back, and now they're looking at 3rd and impossible. And I think they're going to.
3rd and 21, Jesse, with the ball in the 50 with 9:50 left in the 4th quarter.
They're going to be chucking it deep, and it's going to be hard to convert because this defense, this secondary, I've been very impressed by this Rebels secondary. There's some athletic bodies out there, and they're well coached.
At this point, you're forcing those long passes, and you have to go for them. So now a good defense is even better because they know you're forced into a situation. Think we're going to the air here again, Jesse?
Well,
I think we are.
Oh, they got somebody in the middle. Oh, they got him open.
Come on, he's wide open there.
And they get the completion. So that's kind of a dig route by number 3, and that's kind of what we had talked about is that
Jacobs again.
They're going after the.
Oh wait, no, it's 15. Nicholas Sarkozy.
They've been running kind of skinny posts from number 1 receivers. Now what you see is a longer play developing where they bring their 2 receiver from the strong side. They're running right across, and it's hard to keep coverage when you have to follow a player right across the field like that. So they did find him open in a couple windows. Shibley didn't hit him in the first window, and then he rolled to his left, but he found him there. So they need more of that. I think that is exactly what they need to run. They need to expose the middle of this defense because it's a cover 2. So seams, and right there you see.
That's it. That's what I was saying.
Nice play out.
Just drop it into the secondary. Let him go for where he can go. So that'll now put us at, I think that might be the first down now for them.
And a little bit of snow maybe coming down.
I'd like to see a lot of snow. That's always good in the fall to see snow on football.
But Myers, an impressive drive so far at this point. They're changing up what they've been doing. So that's a sign of the coaches going to work on the sideline there and finding out some things that can work. I'm telling you that
players making plays.
In the second play in a row, number 15 is getting open in the middle of the field there.
Right.
So they bring 3 to the strong side this time. Shibley takes off with it, and he's got space in the middle. Oh, he takes a huge hit by number 21.
Wow, does he ever.
But nearly gets in.
Manny Thibert gives him a pop and a half, but I'll tell you what, that was a nice run there.
And you know what? This is the old John Elway effect. When players see you play like that as a quarterback, they say, okay.
Absorbing the hit like that.
I got to play for this kid, too.
Yeah.
So it elevates the entire team when you see your quarterback play like that.
Oh, what happened there?
So let's just have a quick look at that on replay to see.
A penalty, I think. We're walking it back Myers' way.
And you're really starting to see, we're really starting to see Myers learn from what's working and adjusting a little bit, which is.
Unfortunately, Jesse, penalty makes it 1st and 20 again. 1st and 20 on the 26. I mean, you have to stop taking penalties. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
there's nothing else I can say at this point.
Well, you're right, Steve. The penalties have been a backbreaker for the Myers Riders here. And I'm going to say that if they don't get a touchdown on this series, it's probably a foregone conclusion. Shibley out of the shotgun. He's going to run it again himself. Up the middle. No flags down this time, but only a couple yards there, which will set up second and about 14.
Yeah, see, the Rebels, they adjusted.
Oh, they're playing a great defensive game. It's a shutout so far. Very impressed with this secondary, and you can really tell that they're a well-coached football team. They've got athletes that they have in key positions on offense and defense, but this is a pretty complete team. And I want to say that maybe Riders weren't expecting them to be so good because they defeated them in the regular season, and I think they thought the Cumberland Panthers were going to be a tougher team, but they got Aslan open for a moment, but it's a late pass, and it's picked off.
It's only a matter of time, Jesse, if you keep forcing it, and that was Manny Thibert on the pick.
So Thibert comes up with it, but if you watch the replay here, Steve, he was open, and they had to get rid of it. They had to get rid of it early for that to be a score. Here you see Aslan in the inside slot. He makes a cut and gets open. If the ball was thrown there and led way over top, but it was a late throw by Shibley, and the result, a pick to what I said was, I'd say that's a game ender right there.
That's tough. Not that I'm taking sides. I just like to see close games.
Yeah, of course. So back, 1st and 10 for the Rebels after that interception touchback. They decide to hand it off up the middle, and he rumbles for about 5 or 6 on 1st down.
Justin Charon again. They've got a few tools on this Rebel team.
They sure do.
Justin Charon has ran time and time and again this game.
So I'm not sure where. So the Rebels, if the Bantam players graduate up to midget, what area would they go to?
What do you mean?
Okay, they would go to the Rebels midget team. So they do have a midget program at Saint Hubert as well. So a lot of these players that you're seeing and getting the names called out most likely will move up to the midget division and help reinforce that program at the midget level. And for Myers, I know that there's an exciting midget program. We're pretty sure it'll be the Norsemen that will be the benefactor of some of these players, including Aslan and Tyler Shibley, among many, many others that will be moving up to the midget program for somebody in Ottawa. Still some territory work to be done there, but here we go.
2nd and 10, ball and 20.
Empty backfield. He gets rid of it quick. Gets it over the middle to 25, who gets more than enough for the 1st down.
Mathis Lamontagne once again.
So great speed by Lamontagne to get into the secondary there, into the second level of the defense.
I'll tell you what, though, the read the quarterback made was so good there, quick. Myers got a good blitz on them, and they came hard, and he just dished out.
Well, they draw him in, right? The design of that play, too, is empty backfield, so there's no protection. Quarterback gets pressure instantly. In fact, the O-line somewhat lets him in on a screen, and then they leak 25 out and across the middle, and they find him. This time, 27
Charon
cuts up north.
I'm not sure if he shouldn't have just kept going around the outside there.
I was going to say, the perimeter was open. I think
he must have saw something we didn't see.
And part of the strategy here for Saint Hubert is to wear the clock down too. That's important. You don't want to give Myers too many more cracks at it. So that's going to be important as well.
You have to stop saying Saint Hubert. I haven't eaten yet.
But it'll be 2nd and 12 for the Rebels. And they hand off to 25. That's Montaigne.
Lamontagne again.
And Montaigne that's met pretty well a yard loss on that play. So 2 plays from scrimmage that result in yards not gained. And that'll set up a big 3rd down with 4 minutes and 11 seconds left in the game. Myers will have a couple more cracks at it, and they're only down by a couple scores, but they haven't been able to crack the end zone yet. 5 receivers. And they run the screen again. Oh, a beautiful catch over the middle by 21.
Thibert again, Manny Thibert.
And he is dragged down, and he gets the first.
Nice catch.
So,
late flag.
When you're making plays like that in the 4th quarter, it's a sign that your team's going to win. Look at the catch here made by
Thibert.
Look at this one-hander that he has to kind of tip the ball back to himself. Oh, and it was the reverse hand.
I was going to say it's the backhand. That was pretty good.
It was a great play. And an unnecessary roughness at the end of the play for Myers Riders. So just continue to kind of shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. I'm sure it's frustrating for teammates, for coaches, when you see unnecessary penalties, unforced errors,
Right.
especially in football. You're not going to get anything with trying to.
So 1st and 10 for the Rebels, and they just kind of shoot it off the screen, and it looks like maybe somebody got a bit of the helmet there, and I think that's going to be hands to the helmet or
That
face
might
mask.
Be Sean Bastable. He came in pretty hard, leading with the head. But it didn't look like he really made contact. I thought he missed.
Right. But, you know, like as you were saying, Steve, taking those penalties in football, I mean, discipline's just as important as really skill. I mean, sometimes when you get into these close battles, it really is penalties that decide the game. And I think that's kind of the story that was written here today for the Myers Riders.
Oh, most definitely, Jesse. I mean, no other sport, I think, do penalties play such a huge part of the game as in football. I just read that article the other day, and they were saying that professional referees are saying it's almost impossible to referee. Not only is there a penalty on every play, there's multiple penalties.
And much more criticism because of social media. They hear about it more when they get it wrong. Yeah. And the game's moving faster. There's so many reasons. But, yeah, definitely a tough job to be a referee in any sport.
Off right away.
Oh, he breaks through. And a huge gain. That's up for another first down, which will set up basically 1st and goal for the Rebels here in the 4th quarter.
Barcelou, the big bust up the middle. 1st and 10 on the 25 now.
Looks like maybe a sign of the white flag, perhaps, for the Myers Riders here. Have a quick look of that run, getting through the middle. It's just a direct snap, but a great cut there.
It got taken back to the 35.
Oh, yeah, looks like a hold on the offensive line, but a great run there and something that they'll probably look to go back to.
Penalties really taking their toll on this game, Jesse. It's unfortunate.
So 2:53 left in the Bantam Inter-Provincial Bowl. St. Hubert looks like they have this game locked up. Threatening here. They're going to go to the air, looking for that screen again. And this time it's sniffed out. You know, they've run that play and been successful with it about 4 or 5 times in the game. And number 12, when Myers says, not this time.
I think you're going to have to get a new flag. I think that one's worn out.
That's Kiernan Camery that sniffed out that play. They like to run it. They've had success with it. Why not? But on that play, it's knocked to the ground, and that'll set up. The 3-minute warning goes off. They're saying no flag, so they're
2nd and 20. 35.
So it'll be 2nd and 20 here for the Rebels. Now they're trying to choose much time off the clock and score. I think that's kind of the goal of this drive here. And this time they let the quarterback take off on his own with it. He's a big physical quarterback, very athletic. And you can see good sportsmanship there as number 4 lifts him up, pats him on the hat. You like to see that.
That is very close to a first down. Very close. No, they're calling it back again. Hey, another penalty.
Well, in many cases, this is the referee's last game for the year, too, so maybe they're just trying to get their money's worth.
Oh, jeez. Hold.
You hear a little unrest from the audience downstairs.
It's tough to watch. I mean, you know, I'm not blaming the referees. You got to call the game. I'm just saying that it's so frustrating for our spectators and both teams to have this happen so much. But you know what? You got to be disciplined.
Yeah. Well, they're trained to call what they see, and on that last few series, they've seen a lot of holding. This time they go deep, and pass interference there is going to be called on.
That was unneeded.
On the corner of Myers, number 2, gets called. That's Rocco Krupi that maybe just got a little too much involved with the pattern there.
You know, if he had just sort of looked around, he would notice it's like 10, 15 yards past. I don't have to reach out, you know. I don't know. You tell me. You're a defensive player. Like, are you not taught, like, someone yells or something, and you look up to see where you're at, where the ball's at, where the
Yeah, in drills, you always ask all the other people in the DB drill to call ball so that you get used to ball calls and you can look up at the last second.
Right.
Sometimes it leads to interceptions, but you know what? Championship Inter-Provincial bowl game, you're just kind of staying with this receiver right now. And a huge run up the middle there. Oh, finally dragged down, but they will convert the first down, and that's number 7.
You never know it. Malik Payne again. Max Payne.
Monsieur Payne is bringing the pain to the Myers Riders here late in the fourth quarter as he gets another first down for his offense.
I'll tell you, Jesse. Sorry, we're talking Payne, Lamontagne, Charon. These guys have just run hard today.
Yeah, and you know what? He's had a lot of time. The offensive line has been very stout, giving them enough time to execute their offensive schemes and plays.
There you go.
This is just a battle of, listen, this is a 14-0 game. I mean, this was a good football game the whole way through, but when it came down to it, the Rebels offense made more plays. And that first series, if you think back to the very first series of the game, they hit a home run on a huge pass, and that set them up with 1st and goal. They scored there, and it remained 7-0 into the late in the second quarter. So this is a tighter game than we're calling it.
It's true.
But the defense of the Rebels haven't flinched.
But Myers, you know, they're playing pretty good too. And we got a nice tacky there by Manny Mansoure.
Yeah, Mansoure coming up big there. They're going to play to the end of the game, that's for sure. I mean,
I'll tell you, and Boxall had a nice tackle that last play to contain that guy up the middle. So they're still making some good plays. You know, it's only 2 touchdowns.
These are 2 championship teams going at it, and this is a great football game, no doubt. I always said, even when I was a kid playing, I've been down 70-0 in games. It's still fun. You're still out there running around making tackles. So, I mean, playing at TD, this is when you just kind of take a breath and look around between plays and say, hey, I'm having fun. This is what I love to do, play football. So a timeout called by the Myers Riders, I think.
With 1:21 left in the game, 2nd down, 11 yards to go, ball on the 11.
We're going to step aside briefly, and we're going to come back with the conclusion of the Bantam Inter-Provincial Bowl Championship. You're watching on HESN.
Right tackle, and he's into the end zone for the North Shore Mustangs. Win the inaugural Midget Championship at the 2017 Inter-Provincial Bowl Series. Banass sets up, throws, and it's picked off by Traore at the 20. 1 man to beat. Traore still on his feet. He'll score. Win the Bantam Championship in the Inter-Provincial Bowl Series. Mustangs. White burns out to his left, throws that one, and that's picked off. And James Donnelly with the pick.
Dropping back to pass as a man deep in the end zone, and he got it. It's a touchdown.
That is.
And puts it right in the hands of Jaheim Newton. Newton still on his feet at the 10. Newton will score.
Rocky Balboa, the Italian style.
And here we are back, minute 20 in the Bantam Inter-Provincial Bowl, 3rd edition of it. The Rebels are up 14-0 over the Myers Riders, and they're threatening. They complete a pass over the middle, but he fumbles. Are they going to rule it incomplete? They do. They rule it incomplete pass. I think that's a good call. Receiver never really had possession of it.
Lucky for him.
But, yeah, they'll regain possession here and set up a third and 11.
On the 11. With 1:13 left in the game, too little time left.
Remembrance Day tomorrow.
Hey, I got my poppy. How about you, Jesse?
Well, after I listen to Don Cherry rip into anyone that won't wear one, yeah, I'll go get one.
He got ripped pretty good, too.
Here we go. Rebels with 4 receivers to the strong side. They throw a little hook at the 5-yard line that hits the dirt.
Play.
But the Rebels looking to put one in here and seal the deal.
That was intended for Jerome Leclerc. A little short. That makes it 4th and 11 on the 11 with 1:08 left in the fourth.
We want to thank everyone for tuning in to the broadcast and supporting amateur football in Canada. This has been pretty spectacular, being able to get these championship teams playing again for another game after their championship of their respective leagues to play each other, just to make sure that we're checking the caliber across different parts of the country for the football level. It's football with 50, 45 kids and 10 other coaches, as Steve talked about. It's just too expensive to travel and do tournaments as a team. So unfortunately in Ottawa and Montreal, we're only a couple hours away, and this is a doable Inter-Provincial Championship series that we can put on.
Well, I think that the Rebels are looking here to go for a field goal. We got Jaden Rice lined up to go for the field goal because this will put them to 17-0, and for all intents and purposes,
Seal
put it
the
to
deal.
bed.
Yeah, put it to bed. If the Rebels go on, provided there's no miracles happening here for the Myers Riders, it'll bring the all-time Inter-Provincial record to 8-2 for the Quebec teams. So they're well out ahead, and that's a sign of Ottawa football needing to tune up in a few different areas here, but also great games. Any of these teams really have a shot to win, and on any given Sunday, as they say.
Jaden Rice up and good.
The field goal is good.
17-0 with 1 minute left. I think that pretty well has sealed the deal here, Jesse.
So the 50-50's at $900, which isn't bad.
I guess I didn't get my tickets.
Yeah, are we allowed to play? Well, sure, right?
Why not?
Yeah, I haven't seen him up here in the executive suite, though.
No, because they don't think we have any money.
Well, we don't.
We don't.
So it'll be 17-0. Oh, was there a penalty there?
Probably.
Oh, it was an offside.
Yes, offside, our director is telling me.
Okay, so
we've got John Cook on the cutting machine here. He's a giant Colts fan from the NFL.
And I think he wore his jacket today, or hat, didn't he?
He was actually born in Baltimore, back when Baltimore owned the Colts.
Really?
So when they moved to Indianapolis, he just stayed a Colts fan.
No kidding.
I think it was just because they were winning at the time.
Right. Well, you could have jumped ship while Ray Lewis was playing for the Ravens there, and then come back. Of course, the Colts losing their quarterback this year to early retirement.
Here we go, Jesse. They're going to try to punch one last one in.
And they go deep. He's open over the middle.
I believe that was 25, Mathis Lamontagne. No,
21.
He wasn't. I'm sorry, 21. That's Manny Thibert. We know it's one of those 4 players. They've been all day hustling for those guys. Good job, Thibert.
So a tough thing to see as the Myers Riders here don't get the job done in the Inter-Provincial Bowl, but the Rebels, impressive. And if anything, I think this just builds the myth more for next season, because what you have is teams that can see each other in the regular season, and you get a kind of an idea of who's who, but then in the Inter-Provincial Bowl or any championship, like we know, anything can happen. Anyone can win. So 21-0. 57 seconds left in the game.
That was Matthew Barcelou with the extra point. He's been over center the whole game. Kicks the extra points. And that's almost the ball game, folks. 57 seconds left. 21-0 for the St. Hubert Rebels.
Coming up after this game, we hope you'll stick with us. We'll be down shortly, and then we'll have the Midget Inter-Provincial Bowl Championship, which really was the inaugural game that was created to have an Inter-Provincial Bowl Championship. it was really designed for the midget league, and then we added the Bantam and Pee-wees in the first year, and then the Mosquitoes in the second year. And I think it's a great cap off to an amazing season of football, and being able to host it at TD Place with the help of the Red Blacks and the OSEG Foundation has been a marvelous addition this year in 2019.
Well, and congratulations to Matt Scene, the coach of the St. Hubert Rebels. They've played a fantastic game here today. Looks like they might have held up the shutout, and he boots that all the way down.
So it'll be returned cleanly by the Myers Rider, and he's got some space out in front of him, but
is that Kieran Campbell?
He's run down at the
it
50-yard line.
Nicholas Circazi.
And Circazi, he's been pretty big component. He's had some first downs for the Riders today, and as we said, I think the game really, in my mind, comes down to, well, we're looking at another flag here, so.
Flags, and Myers is going way downfield too much. I think they should have been going for shorter strikes, but what do I know?
Well, you're the baseball guy. But
I'm just saying.
No, I think there's some truth to that. I mean, I think they were chucking it up, and they threw a couple picks there early, and that might have kind of hurt their confidence.
But I do applaud their bravado. I mean, get out there and throw it, air it up. It makes me, love the game.
And truthfully, when you talk about identities, that was the identity of the Myers Riders. It's just they weren't playing the St. Hubert Rebels.
Right.
And that was the difference. 66 moves a little early, but they don't call it. And Aslan off the left side of tackle, and he's got some room, and he might have the angle to go the whole way. Aslan.
He's going to go all the way. He is
no
going
flags
to go.
down, and Aslan scores a touchdown there first.
Oh, they should. 30 seconds, I'll tell you what. Onside kick now. Jesse, I don't think they can get it done. It's
unbelievable run, though. Jeez.
It was. Well, it was almost one of those Statue of Liberties again.
Well, we'll have a look at that. I mean, look at the speed by Aslan to get the angle on the outside. I mean, let's have a look here. Really, well, we'll have a look after the extra point.
So
I think, well, you're down two scores still. I don't know if the 2 points really help you at all. So
no, because I mean, it's still more than a 2-possession game.
But they'll go for it. And they go for a big fade in the back of the end zone to number 3, but it's incomplete.
That was for Jacobs.
So let's go back to that huge run here, Steve. Like, I mean, what's impressive about this run is the angle at which, yeah, you're right, it's that kind of Statue of Liberty play that we saw earlier on. But for Aslan to make that cut there, and
there was no containment on the outside. You think there'd be someone?
I wonder if those guys were even running full speed because they had the angle, but he outran them all.
You think there'd be someone who would go out to the outside to contain? Keep the ball on the field, keep the clock.
But at least they get on the board.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
And
they deserve a score.
Aslan's got a hell of a highlight there.
Yeah, but we know teams, it doesn't matter how well you do. You lose.
For sure. I mean, I heard a few teams, and you wonder sometimes you hear coaches talk, and they say, well, the Ottawa championship was a real championship. I said, no. If you got another opponent in front of you and you don't win, it still kind of hurts. Doesn't matter how good the season was. This is a test of your team. This is like putting the race car on the track and seeing what numbers you can get.
Ooh, did they get it?
When the rubber hits the road, you want to play the best and beat the best, and that's why this Inter-Provincial Championship is so fun, is that teams get a chance to really test out their team against another, worthy adversary. So,
I mean, Myers, that was a quality chance there. They almost got the ball back. I mean, it's too bad. It's always too little, too late, but they're not going down without a fight.
As we mentioned, we're going to be down temporarily, and then we're going to be back up on the HESN YouTube channel and the CAFA Facebook page, the HESN Facebook page, the QMFL Facebook page, and we're going to be showing the Midget Inter-Provincial Bowl between the Orleans Rasmen and the West Ottawa Knights. They've faced each other once in around week 3, and the West Ottawa Knights got off to a good start, and the Rasmen came back to make that a game. So there you go. You see the coaches celebrating and the team celebrating. That's your final, 21-6 for the St. Hubert Rebels versus the Myers Riders. And the Rebels bring the all-time rivalry of the Inter-Provincial Bowl to 8-2 for the Quebec Leagues over NCAFA.
Well, we've said it before, Jesse. It was 21-6. They don't have it up in the score, but that game was a lot closer. You know, I'm sure that you'll see, Myers saying, "Oh, there's a couple of plays. If we could do them over, it might have had a difference in the game." You know, the score looks worse than the game was.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
not that it looked that terrible, but I think it was a lot closer than even 21-6.
I think it held 7-0 for quite a while, and then 14-0 at the end of the first half, and then it held 14-0 right to the fourth. So you're right. I mean, this was a close game all the way through, but at the end of the day, there was a series late in the first quarter that Myers had to score, and they turned the ball over deep in their area with first and goal, I think, and it doesn't fail that there are little windows in sports games where if you seize the moment, you've got a chance. If you miss those windows, it's almost, it's inevitable that it'll come back to bite you. And in this case for the Myers Riders, Bantam team, I think they entered that contest pretty confident. They had already beaten this Rebels team early on, and in week 7 or 8 when they were undefeated, they beat them quite handedly. So I think there was maybe a little bit of overconfidence of this team, but nonetheless, they played a great season. They won the Ottawa Championship, and can't get it done against the Rebels here in the Inter-Provincial Bowl, but still played a heck of a game here.
It's it can be quite frustrating too, because as minor coaches and all, it seems like lots of time left, and next, time starts to click down, and now you find yourself pushing a little bit, like maybe pushing a little more than you should have. I thought that Myers may have forced the ball long a little more than they should have. But, like I say, I applaud them for going to the air. I mean, I think that's a bold move, and
yeah, when it works.
It could have worked just as easily for them,
That's right. I mean, I think sometimes you have to, especially when you got a good quarterback, and good receivers. Why not go right at the jugular of your opponent? And
right, but I don't see any teams without good quarterback. Like usually, it's one of their best athletes. He's the guy that can run, can throw, can see the field a little better.
Right. Well, sometimes you are gifted with a heck of a quarterback. I mean, we're about to watch the midget game, and we've got a couple great quarterbacks for these two teams too. So here we go. We see, of course, Aslan, the MVP for Myers, which I think is a no-brainer. I mean, very impressed with this kid. Can't wait to see him as he continues on in his football journey. He's standing there with Josh Jacoby, the quarterback's coach for the Carleton Ravens, and Gowan Harding, Scott Boxstall, head coach for the Myers Riders, Gowan Harding, president of the Gatineau Vikings, and number 21 gets the nod by Scott Boxstall. That's Manny Thibert, of course.
A lot of good plays by him.
And we're going to see Manny Thibert get his MVP trophy, and shortly after that, they're going to give the team the Inter-Provincial Bowl championship. So a little bit of a social media pose.
All right. An incredible round of applause for the Bantam team.
So perhaps I said the Myers Riders Bantam team was the most complete football team in Ottawa this season in the CAFA. And that just goes to show you how good this Rebels team was today. You know, on any given Sunday. So we're going to be down just shortly, and then we are going to go to, we're going to see the captains get the championship trophy here and take it to their team, and that will be the final images we'll leave you here tonight before we get ready and set for the Midget Inter-Provincial Bowl Championship. Here it goes. The Rebels win it all at the Bantam division. And the myth grows of the Quebec League, 8-2 in the full series over NCAFA and Ottawa football. They have their banner and trophy. We're going to sign off here momentarily and get back online with the Midget Championship. You can see we've got the TD Luxury Suite here at TD Place, home of the Ottawa Red Blacks, and we're going to be back with the Midget Championship, where we see two Ottawa teams for the first time competing against each other in the Inter-Provincial Bowl Championship. That, of course, is the Orleans Rasmen, who went 8-2 in the regular season, one of their only two losses against this West Ottawa Knights, who they will face here. Coming up shortly in the Inter-Provincial Bowl Championship Series continues live on HESN.